Hello everyone, welcome to Scarecrow Miniature Painting. I'm Steven, and in this episode we are going to continue working on our Tabaxi swashbuckling rogues. So we are going to use our number 2 brush for this. So we're going to use Flat Earth by Vallejo as the base for our belts. So I'm just going to lightly take that across the red. I got a little too heavy on that part, so I'm just going to clean it up a little bit. Okay. So I'm just touching it up, anything that was red. Now we still got our red on our palette. It might be a little dry now. Looks like it might not be. So we can definitely go back and touch those up. I'm just trying to prevent that. Because with the flat earth, it felt more so that it wasn't as thin, but in reality it was. It was just as thin as the other. Vallejo we've used smoke and um, wood grain. And it's fine that we have to go back and do that because I do see some spots we can touch up on the red. But I'm doing all the straps in this brown. Now, we are going to use chocolate brown for the padding. But this is what we have so far. Let me try to get out of the way so we can focus. So I think that gives a nice highlight to the character itself. I love how the pants turned out. And we can definitely do more highlights on the pants itself because that smoke we used is a perfect starting point for our chocolate brown that we're going to use for the pads, which then is a perfect starting point for the flat earth. So we are going to go back and touch up the red a little. You just want to make sure that none of the brown gets converted over into the red and that we got all the red covered up, while at the same time not getting any of the red into the brown. And there's some recesses where it decided it wanted to play tricks on us, so we're just going to touch that up a little. And this all deals with brush control. So you do want to try and limit it to the tip of your brush when you're painting. However, sometimes, depending on the size of your brush and the sharpness of your brush, that may not be entirely possible. This brush set that I am using is not as sharp as other brushes I have used in the past, so it's fairly easy for blending to happen where I don't want it to. For instance, right there, we were touching up one of the spots and a blend that I did not want to happen began because the red was not dry all the way. So you gotta be careful of sometimes. Sometimes you just want to take pure pigment, sometimes you don't. But regardless, you want to take your time when you paint. Now, standard miniature should take no more than 1 hour from top to bottom to base coat. Now we're taking a little bit longer just because we are having those blending issues. And we have a little bit more fine detail that we got to work with. So we're wanting to make sure that we get paint to stick. For some reason, right now, this paint is not wanting to stick. That could be an issue with the primer itself. Or the paint. There's multiple different reasons why that could be. But that's what we have. Now that's the back of the miniature that's having the issue. I'm going to let that dry. We're going to move on to the next one. Actually, we're going to move on to the next coat, which is going to be our chocolate brown. Because all we have left to do on this figure are the scabbards, the feet, and these guards. So like I said, the guards itself, I'm going to paint in a brown. Now, these belts right on this sleeve, I'm going to paint the chocolate brown as well. The only reason I'm going to also do those in chocolate brown is because they're a little more finite for me to be able to go through and pinpoint them exactly. But we at least get a nice even coat. Of this chocolate brown across the miniature. Now, if you've watched the channel before, you know that anytime I look over, I'm following the model itself that they gave us on the packaging, and I'm trying to make sure that I'm not overpainting or underpainting. So we're just going to take this brown, we're going to go right over this section right here. Get a nice blend there. Then we're going to take this. We're going to do the same thing to these belts. And we do got that black still, and we're going to do a quick touch up on this arm as well, because there's a little spot that I missed that should be black. So, so we got that done. Now you can see the black on there that we're going to touch up. So I'm just going to take a little bit of my black and make sure that it's not too watered down. Okay. Nope, it's all gone. Okay, so the next step we're going to do, that was the chocolate brown, are going to be the scabbards. I'm going to start with a flat earth. Did I already do that one? Yes, I did. Never mind. That happens. You sometimes forget what you've added already. So I'm going to clean that out, actually. Because I wanted a different color for there. And we were actually going to do orange brown. So orange brown is one of the only ones from Vallejo's leather and wood line that I've noticed that you actually have to thin down a little bit. So I'm just going to mix that up. I'll load up the brush. And I'm going to do the same thing on this one. However, there's some details on this one that will not be that orange brown once we are done. And I'll show you what I mean by that once we are completely finished with the model, because it's going to involve some highlighting and a little bit of, I guess you'd consider it freehand. But we're going to make sure that we can make that look almost like a bone instead of leather. So let me think what we can do next for these pouches on his pants. So I may actually take this and paint over that with this darker color. And we may go over it again with a black, but this should, with how I'm doing this, it should turn that not into a fully chocolate brown, but almost a mix of the two. So I'm just cleaning up some recesses that go on the inside. Take my red, just dot that on the inside there. That's what we have. So we got that. That's going to be almost a bone color. And we just got these two pouches, and then we have the metallics left to do. So the reason we did that is because this pouch I'm going to do in that orange brown mixture. Now this one over here, we're going to do in a chocolate brown. However, we will eventually highlight that with the flat earth. Like so. So I'm going to do one quick highlight. Not highlight, but touch up here. Try to get that in there. And now I'm going to go pause it. I'm going to go grab my metallics that we're going to be using. So bear with me. Okay, I am back. So after looking over the figure itself, I decided that this would be a good opportunity to teach you all how to do non-metallic metallics. So the reason I'm suggesting that now is we did prime it in white. Now, when we primed it in white, some of that silver, or some of these, not silver, some of the brown stayed true to where it was. And when that brown stayed true to where it was, because of the highlights we did with, or the shading we did with the dark wash, it shows us where on the figure we are going to have specific highlights. So what I'm doing real quick is I'm just looking for my skeleton bone. I should have some in here. Yes, I do. Okay. because I'm going to do the necklace in skeleton bone. Now, don't mind me real quick. One of my sets just decided it was going to jump around and spread free. So, what I'm going to do first is I'm going to do my dark shade. My middle shade. And my lightest shade. Now this is almost a highlighting process, but we are going to thin these down, so bear with me. So I find starting with that dark shade first really helps bring it out. So we're using dark stone. So I'm just going to take it lightly across the top of here, across the edge there, all the way on the bottom. I'm going to do the same thing on this side, but not as much on the top there. So as you can see, that's what I got so far. Let me get out of the way so you guys can see. Now on this one, we're going to do the tip. We're going to do a little bit past the tip on the bottom. And then we're going to do a section where they're going to meet right there. Then we're also going to do his guard, just right there. Do up to there. We're going to have it turning into that. Then we'll take this across here. Okay, now we're going to add our brights. I know this seems almost counterproductive of why are we adding our brights and our darks if we don't have a midtone. Well, we're going to add the midtone later during blending. So I'm just going to touch that up to there. And touch this side up to there. Right in the middle there. Right there. And right across that recess right there. Now, we're going to add, well, both of those are wet still. We're going to add our midtone to both. We're going to blend it in to reach across both. like so. Now we're not done yet. But that's what we have to kind of start the non-metallic metallics. So now we're going to take some of our dark tone. We're going to take some of our light tone. We're going to mix that up. While that's wet. We're just going to feather it in lightly. There. Now we're going to do the same thing over here with our mid-tone. And our light tone. Like such. Now, I will say this is one of my first times doing non-metallic metallics, so if this doesn't look right, or you think that there's a technique that I need to do better, please let me know in the comments. And I will gladly look into it, see what I can do to be better, because that's my whole goal of the channel, is to make sure that what I'm teaching you... Oh, bear with me. There we go. It's not a Scarecrow Miniature episode unless it falls over. What I'm teaching you... 2-in-1 episode. With a thumb. Okay, once again, what I'm teaching you guys is stuff that you guys can actually use. So, there's one final step to non-metallic metals, and that is edge highlighting. So I'm just going to take some pure white. And we can also mix this white in with our lighter tone to get another highlight. I'm just going to take that, drop that in there. Mix it in. Take our brush. We got just paint on it. And just ever so lightly. Hit that edge like so. And you can also take it where you want the brightest spots. Take it across there too. Now, with this one, however, I'm going to edge highlight this side. This side. This side.
Daddy.
Hold on, Bubba.
Daddy.
I'm finishing my painting.
Paint so.
We'll paint tomorrow, okay?
Oh.
And there we have it. That is non-metallic metals, everyone. Now, there is a little bit on the bottom that we can do as well. I'm going to take... Don't want that. We're going to take a little bit of the brown. What, Bubba?
I'm lucky, Mommy. I need to get up and wet. Dad,
Really?
Dad, hit me.
No, you're going to go lay with Mommy. Bubba. Hold on, everyone.